Today we're covering Astra Lost in Space, and let's go! Astra Lost in Space is a manga from 2016 and it was published online. The creator is Kenta Shinohara, and after gaining in popularity, Studio Lerche produced 12 episodes of anime in 2019. The anime is set in 2063 and 8 high schoolers, because of course they are high schoolers, plus a 10-year-old girl travel to space on a field trip, because in the future we will all travel to space on field trips. Soon after arriving at their destination, a weird version of a small black hole transports them 5012 light years away in space. Luckily, there was a spaceship nearby they could use to save themselves. The show is called Lost in Space, but technically they're not lost. They know exactly where they are. But since they are so far away from home, they have to make a special plan how to make it back. The only solution is to use their small ship to planet hop, and on each planet to gather food and water in order to survive, all the while heading for their home. Of course, during their journey, they will encounter multiple problems, dangerous environments, animals, plants, and even mushrooms. It seems that mushrooms grow all around the universe. This setup is, at least to me, perfect. It gives us a lot of chance for adventure, building relationships between our astronauts, and plenty of touching moments. All the characters are different from each other and interesting. The original draft of this story had 15 main characters, but luckily the creator cut it down by half. I would say that following around 10 characters at the same time is probably as high as you can go. Any more than that, and it becomes too tiresome and confusing to follow who is doing what, and whose intentions are what. Of all the anime I have ever watched, only Bokurano managed to follow that many characters at once. But then again, Bokurano is a masterpiece. In Astra Lost in Space, the main character we follow is Aries Spring. She is warm-hearted, good-mannered girl who can seem a bit ditzy at times, but she does have certain depths. For starters, she has photographic memory, and in general, she is smarter than she appears. The second main character is Kanata Hoshijima. He would be the shonen in our not shonen story. He is athletic, quick on his feet, but he is also smart and brave. In the story, he is our leader, who is honest and never gives up. As it may become apparent from these two characters, most of the characters are stereotypical, meaning that they have one role or quirk in this story and that's it. Zack is the brain of the operation. Kiteria is a medical advisor, yes. Lou is shy. Charles is a fuckboy, etc. So, this anime is a combination of adventure, slice of life, science fiction, and all of these aspects are used to their full potential. Their journey is truly exciting and filled with dangers and troubles from the start, and it really grabs your attention. For some of the episodes, I really thought they only lasted 15 minutes. That's how engaging this show is. When anime manages to do that, it is a sure sign that this anime is doing something right. Slice of life aspects are there to fill the void between the action sequences, and they do their part perfectly. By episode 3 or 4, you feel deeply invested into the story, and you really want these characters to make it back home. Even the science fiction part of the story is done correctly. The biggest fault of science fiction stories in general is that they use science as a form of magic. You click a button, machine does beep boop, and everything happens. Here we have a certain dose of realism. It is small, but it is significant. Our heroes have limitations, even though they are surrounded by advanced technology. And these limitations are what makes their journey even more exciting. What I said thus far should be enough for you to decide whether this anime is for you. If you like exciting space travel with well-developed characters that really grabs your attention, this anime is for you. In its 12-episode run, this anime does what other anime needs 3 seasons of 20 episodes. But aside from that, there is one big aspect of the story I haven't mentioned, and I didn't mention it because I don't want to spoil it, and that's mystery and intrigue. These are really heavy spoilers. So if you want to experience this story for yourself, go and watch it. From this point on, I will be talking with spoilers, so you have been warned. Now, when I can talk freely, perhaps the strongest aspect of this anime is mystery and intrigue that follows them throughout their journey. Our heroes soon realize that one of them is the enemy, an imposter who wants to kill them all. This adds to an already interesting premise another layer of depth and intrigue, and I believe that it is a good part of the reason why this anime makes it so you're so deeply invested. The second aspect I wanted to mention in the spoiler part is also one of the great strengths of this anime, but also a great fault. Somewhere in the middle of the story, we meet a new character, a Russian girl, Paulina, and it becomes clear that something very weird happened to planet Earth. Comparing her information with the information that our crew has, it becomes clear that the Earth the astronauts are from is not actually Earth. It is a new planet called Astra. What does this actually mean? It means that aside from all the things we said, there is another layer of narrative, and it deals with conspiracies. Around 100 years ago, elite from Earth, wishing to escape an asteroid heading to destroy the Earth, decide to transfer the whole humanity to another planet. They succeed in this, and in the process, they erase nations, states, religion, and similar. After that, they decide that this whole transferring of humanity thing should be kept secret from the public. And in order to do that, they literally erase a whole century of history out of history. This whole subplot would be more than enough for its own anime, and since we already have a perfectly good storyline, and that would be high schoolers lost in space, this part of the narrative simply cannot expand and shine to its full potential, even though the idea is original and interesting. That's why I mentioned that this addition of this another layer of plot is a fault. But that's not all. Aside from all that, there is another layer of narrative, mystery, and intrigue, and it is completely separate from the plotline concerning transferring of humanity from planet to planet. During a DNA test, our astronauts find out that they are actually clones of powerful people from from Astra. It's called Astra. Our heroes were created and raised to be clones, spare parts for their originals. These powerful people were planning to take over their bodies of their clones by transferring their consciousness into them, and that would grant them eternal life of a sort. Again, another layer of depth in the narrative, and this layer by itself would be more than enough for another whole anime. Here it is just tacked on, just like a piece of a bigger puzzle. And it is definitely unexpected when you start watching a show about high schoolers lost in space. Both these expansions to the narrative, the transferring of humanity and the clone plot, on one hand, it really makes this anime seem nuanced and complex, like the critics like to say. But on the other hand, neither of these additions are not expanded upon enough, and that is a great shame. Both these additional storylines have great potential, and it is a real pity that there was simply not enough time to expand upon these storylines. 12 episodes is simply not enough. If any anime ever had to have 300 episodes, then this was the one. In conclusion, Astra Lost in Space is an anime that will definitely give you a lot more than you expect. A lot more. It is more than worth the time investment, and you will probably feel sorry that it doesn't have more episodes to truly expand on a more than ambitious plot. But who knows, maybe one day we will get more episodes and chapters that will focus on the world around our heroes. Such as it is, this anime is better than what mere fiction can offer. It is what science fiction can offer. That's it about Astra Lost in Space. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social networks. Check out other videos on the channel. We do a lot of anime content. That's it. See you next time. Bye bye.